Hi everyone, and welcome to an episode of Studio Insights with the Belvista Studios team. We've got Kim, Victoria, and myself, Hannah, and we talk about things that we've been working on, learning design projects. We give you inspiration for the projects that you're working on and help you to level up as a learning designer. Another great way that you can level up as a learning designer is to check out our human-centered design course. We have got such great feedback on it. It takes you through the exact human-centered design process that our team uses for our projects, and we have had great success with what we've been working on. So really recommend checking it out. It's in the description below. Before we get into the episode, I thought I'd just get a little teaser of everyone's question so the audience knows what might be coming. I wanted to know if your question was a flavor of tea, what would it be and why? And you can thank Kim for this one, Vic.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I was struggling for the answer myself, but I have come up with it. Peppermint, because this is going to be fresh.
Oh, I love that. That's so good.
Drink tea. I don't really know flavors. What's like
green, peppermint,
chai,
that's all I know. Ginger,
black tea, Irish tea, English breakfast tea.
I don't know what they are though.
Sleepy tea, chamomile tea, detox, ginger, lemon.
My question also might change by then. What's like, is there like a mixed one?
So variety pack.
Yeah. I don't know. I'll go with that.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, I don't know. Tea flavor, what they would mean.
All right, we'll accept that. My tea flavor would be, you know how you get ones for like energy? Mine's like the energy blend.
Cool.
All right. You guys can choose between yourself who would like to ask the first question. Whoever speaks first. Okay, Kim, you go.
Okay. All right, Hannah, question for you. So peppermint, spice it up, girl. You have been, it's probably a reflection of what you were saying about the human-centered design course and like our process. And recently we've done we're heavy into the instructional design phase of 2 big projects. And I feel like it's the first time that we're very strongly swayed away from training and a traditional e-learning. It's more change management. It's more marketing campaign. I would love you to share some of the more original and unique things that we probably haven't done for other clients that we are doing for these 2 solutions in particular. Just for inspiration.
So one thing that we did was a leader team meeting kit. And that sort of came from like thinking about what would make someone do something differently, and we can engage through e-learning and all of those things. But I thought about like as an employee, if your leader really supports something that you're learning and like speaks about it in team meetings and like sets expectations, it really like ups the chance that you'll actually adopt it. So we have a kit where the leader gets like the exact email to send. They get like instructions on exactly how to run the meeting. It gives the learners the opportunity to like bring up any concerns they have with changing their behavior. Because sometimes you can do training and then be like, yeah, great, but that's not going to work for this. And we did our best to understand the end users, but because there's so many, like it gives them the opportunity to bring that up with their leader and come up with solutions. So that was a good one. We also did it was a meeting kit for a specific team to run with the learners, where they actually got to like talk through scenarios live with each other. And that came from the fact that like a lot of the learners have knowledge already, and we wanted to give them the opportunity to be able to share that knowledge between each other. And share like their experiences on the job and apply it to whatever they're learning. So that was cool. Like they went through a scenario, they spoke about what they would do in the scenario, they gave each other advice. So it was more of like a real world part of the solution that they could do live together. What else was there? We did a sort of an introduction email that led them to complete the e-learning. And the email wasn't like a traditional corporate-y email. It sort of like put them into a story and got them like thinking, not like in a bit of a way competitively, like being like, oh, I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to like win this game or whatever it is. So we tried to like gamify the solution a bit with that intro email. What else was there?
What about the branding stuff? Do you remember that?
I'm trying to think of which project you're referring to.
We were branding the team. I'm just going to
Oh, yes. Okay. I can't fully remember that because I have my head in the other project, but we wanted the team to be like more human. So like there's a team that learners need to contact and like liaise with in order to do the right thing and meet the project goal. So we wanted to like really humify the team, like give a face to the team, put names to the team, because we discovered through our human-centered design process that like people reach out for help to people that they trust and they know, rather than just like a hotline. Or so we really wanted to like make that team really human, so they would reach out to them. I don't remember how we did that though, if you want to share that, Kim.
That's where we're getting them to do videos, hey, where they answer things like, what's your favorite book?
Okay.
Like, so the personal side of it, but also like the things that they work on, the problems they solve, why you would call them.
Yeah.
And they do it like in a quick fire type
yeah.
video.
I think Vic worked on that. That's probably why.
Oh, okay. Vic,
Is
feel free
you
to
worked
jump
on
in.
Vic? I remember like seeing it at a glance, but
yeah, it was videos with the questions.
Okay. Over to
yeah.
you.
What was sort of the questions? Were they like work related or personal?
A bit of both. I think there was 2 different types of videos, and one was more like a get to know you type one, which was, I don't remember the questions either, but yeah, things like favorite book, I don't know, favorite TV show, like that.
Yeah, cool.
Sort of vibe of questions. And then the other one was more job focused, but just to help them understand the team. So like I think it was stuff like, how big's the team, like where are they located, what do they do, like what is their like day-to-day life like in that team, that kind of stuff. So it was still it definitely still had like a personal side to it, but it wasn't like super corporate-y. It was more just to like understand what other people like what that team does, because I feel like a lot of the time there's sort of can be a breakdown in big organizations where you've got no idea what other teams actually do. So it was trying to help other employees understand what that team does.
Yeah, I love that. That's cool too, because I like the personal stuff because I feel like it can help people build rapport. Like if you're calling someone for help and like you remember they loved this TV show and you also love it, like it gives you sort of like a conversation starter, and then you start building that relationship and feel more comfortable to like ask them for help or like tell them things. So I think that's really cool. Thanks, Vic. Something else I remember, I think we had like book recommendations. So we had like based on the topic that we were training, there's like books out in the world. If they were like interested, they could learn more about it. And I think we like made it very human-centered, so like they knew how it would add value to them, not just through the topic, but to like life in general. So we had the book recommendations. We had posters where it was like, this is something that you should do to meet the project goal, and this is how it would look like in your world. So it was like, do this, for example, in your world, this is what it would look like and exactly what you'd need to do. So that was cool.
You had your commandments as well. We can finish there unless Vic has something for us to add.
Yeah, so we also had commandments where it was like, what are the core things that people need to live by? So they were like brief statements that they would refer to that was sort of like based like commandments, like this, if you did these things, then you would like holistically be doing the right thing. So they could just like put them up at their desk or like have them as a PDF on their computer as a background, and just like refer to it so they know exactly what they need to do. Yeah, but we definitely had a lot of different things. It wasn't just training. Like there was a big package of things, and it was really well thought out too. Like we thought about what would they need in their environment and in their day-to-day life that would actually help them do something differently rather than just on the screen in an e-learning module, like surrounding them basically.
Yeah.
Which I think is important.
Do you have any other ones to add, Vic, from what you worked on? Any unique ones?
I'm also struggling to remember. I think that was only like 2 weeks ago. I worked on 2 things. Couldn't tell you what the second one was.
Cool. Next one.
A lot's happened since.
Oh, actually, no, I remember now. It was questions to try and, like, between the employees and the team that we want them to like communicate with and feel like they're able to communicate with. We created a document that was a list of questions that fell under different topics, and it was like these are things you can ask that team to get the help you want.
That's cool.
So that was trying to help give employees like feel like they had permission to like approach the team, and if they were, I don't know, unsure of how to phrase things or didn't know what kind of support they could get, it was just like a list of, I don't know, I think it was like 1 or 1.5 pages or something of questions like, oh, if I need X, do I do it like Y? Or just like gave them scripts basically to
that's cool
contact the team and actually be able to get something valuable from it and hopefully cut out any. That was that thing.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. I'm about to do brainstorming for another project, so it's good to get those ideas from you.
All right, well, I'll go next as per Victoria's request. So Vic, my question's for you. You worked on a project last week where you turned a Word document with text and tables into something human-centered. So easy to use, looked nice. I just wanted to know, like, what did you end up doing to inspire us and our audience? And like, do you have any advice as well on how people could do that if they needed to make a Word document, text tables look amazing?
There was a few parts to it. It is actually sort of relevant because I want to know how I can do it better. But the first step for me was just looking at content only before I even like considered making anything like pretty or what like the outputs I guess could be. Was looking at the content itself and seeing if it could be simplified anywhere, because some of it got a bit repetitive or was just a bit wordy when it didn't really need to be. And also looking at how they had grouped things in the document. So there weren't like a lot of changes that I made, but there was some things I like restructured a bit or felt like that content is really relevant to that, and it's maybe like not as high a priority, so like that stuff can go together. So yeah, it was going through with that process first, and then once that was done, I looked at each section and tried to like brainstorm ideas for what it could change to, like if it was going to go from a table into a picture or a graph or something like that, or if it was just like icons would be useful here. So yeah, identifying ideas then like from that, and then that was when I eventually started developing it. So I had ideas for some things, other things I didn't. I just left it and waited till I'd like developed everything else and seen like what the flow was like, and if things needed to be like broken up more once it actually got put into the design, because the design was just kind of like adding like colored headings, icons, highlighting some of the tables a bit differently, or like replacing parts of the tables with an image instead. Yeah, that was kind of how I did it.
Yeah,
I think it worked well in that order. We don't have the feedback yet, so
you got my feedback, So that's we went to the client, which is good feedback from internal. In terms of like, how did you know this structure isn't quite right, I need to reorder, or to turn like icons would be useful there? Like, what was coming up for you that was like, this needs to change, it's not working?
I feel like in the simplest way, it was if there was a bit that I looked at on the document, it was like, what the hell am I looking at here? Or like, if it felt like messy or overwhelming, that sort of like flagged it for me as being like, there must be a simpler way of looking at this.
That's cool.
I will say, like, I did find some of it tricky, because like at a high level, that's an easy way to just like immediately pick out spots and be like, what is that? What is that? Why is there like 20 lines of text in that section, or whatever it was? But yeah, I feel like once it got down to the details, it got a bit trickier. Like when I was trying to like refine the content or a bit more, where I was looking for opportunities to like trim content, I did find that a bit harder. And that was what I wanted to ask about today, because some of it, like, it wasn't obvious to me of like, is this important? Like, should this be in here or not? Because we were given flexibility from the client to make the updates, obviously. But it was like a safety related topic, I guess. And so I did find it difficult from my perspective to be like, is that, I don't know, is that like a legal requirement that they're mentioning that in this particular document, or is that just like rubbish? So I definitely found that part of it trickier. Not rubbish, but like, it's like, do they actually need this? Or is it communicated somewhere else? Or and so for the things that, for example, there was like a list of legislation, and it was like, this document has been created using this legislation. So that was something I like trimmed as much as I could and used icons for, because I'm like, I would imagine if someone's using that, like that information itself isn't going to help them with their task really, unless like they might need to refer back to it or something in future, but it's not going to like help them actually do what they need to do when they're using that form, if that makes sense. So that was kind of the stuff that I considered like lower priority, because I'm like, they're not going to, when they're out on a, I don't know, job site or wherever they're using that form, they're not looking for that information. They're looking for like, what are the hazards or something like that. I assume.
Yeah.
That's helpful. The thought process.
Well, yeah, I understand what you mean. Like, because when we work on projects, we often have like a success statement. So when I'm like going through content, deciding whether we need it, like referring back to that question you had around like, I don't know whether it needs to be in there or not. Usually we'd be like, does it help us meet the success statement? So I guess if like you came up with some sort of success statement for the tip sheet that the client agreed with, that might have made that easier, because you can.
Well, I was actually thinking that when I thought about asking that question today, I was like, I think I know what the answer would be, and it's usually like, doesn't meet the goal or doesn't and I don't know, Kim, maybe you have like something you can contribute, because you know what the task was. But I guess to me it wasn't clear what, like, I knew it was like make it human-centered and like we had some flexibility, but maybe it wasn't, maybe I didn't feel like it was clear enough to me of like, what is the goal of this, like as a document. Like I don't fully know how they use them or that kind of thing.
I think it probably was decided outside of your brief, and that's why the brief that you got was, this is what you need to do. So the brief outside of what you got was around making it user friendly, that it could only be accessed on certain devices with certain like tools like Microsoft or whatever, and this is the vicinity that it would be used in, or like when people would use it. So from there, a brief was provided to you to then help achieve that. And that's why it focused on what you had a checklist kind of, or like, we're going to approach it and try to achieve these things. Like the scope of your task was what it was.
Yeah. Well, yeah, maybe I am just overthinking it a little bit or something then.
Yeah, like
basically it was make it user friendly.
Yeah.
You did that by making the text user friendly, icons, layout, heading, hierarchy, collapsible things. Yeah, all of design principles.
That makes sense. Yeah, I think when I had my head like stuck in, I was just like, is this enough? Like, is it have like I changed it enough that it's more helpful now? And there is, like, when I look at the two documents, I'm like, there is a big difference. It's the same. Well, yeah, I guess that was part of the brief. It was like, then we can't lose the intent of the content.
Yeah.
So like, both, they look very different, but like the content is the same in a way. Like the intent of the content. It wasn't like cutting 6 pages to 3 pages of information to make it more user friendly. Like it's still user friendly. Actually ended up being longer. Maybe I was too cut up on that. Thinking normally a lot of the time I guess we try and like condense things or get rid of like very stuff, and I'm like, if it's all necessary you can still make it user friendly even if it's a lot of content.
I guess you can keep the intent of what the content is saying, but it's about like wording it better as well. Like you get the same message but you can say it in 4 words rather than 20.
But yeah, we'll see how we go. Might have more questions next week. How to deal with terrible feedback. Just kidding.
Do not manifest that, please.
Now, so how do you deal with always being right and always being the best? How do you cope?
I like it.
Did you have any other questions about that task, Vic? Like for your question, or?
No, you did. Yeah, having that discussion answered I did sort of ask my question with yours, but yeah, it was all tied together.
Yeah, beautiful.
Thank you.
Well, good. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of the episode. Don't forget to check out our human-centered design course. It's in the description below. We think it'll really help you as a learning designer. And we will see you for the next episode.
What's up, awesome human? Thank you on behalf of myself and the Belvista Studios team for continuously choosing to learn with us. We really appreciate it. If the tips and the insights and the context resonate with you and you want to take your skills to the next level, or you want to make your life way easier, you will love our Creator Hub. The Creator Hub is a place for people like you and us. Basically, it's the stuff that we use internally at Belvista Studios, and then we just share it publicly with you. The Creator Hub is created by instructional designers for instructional designers, and what you'll love there at the moment is we've got a quiz, Could I Be a Better Instructional Designer, that has so much tips in the feedback if you're interested in human-centered design or just taking your skills to the next level in terms of the solutions you're creating and the problems you want to solve. But in there as well, aren't we cute? That's us. But we've got the coaching courses, freebies, give us gratitude, and also we've got some templates. And basically they're always around the lens of learning experience design, instructional design, and e-learning. So a human-centered design focus is very much what we're about at Belvista Studios. So putting your learners at the heart of a solution and creating something for their needs. So there's the human-centered design stuff, and then we've also got the business stuff. So this is the stuff they don't teach you about when you want to become a freelancer or a consultant in the instructional design world. So go check it out. The link is in the description. You can check out everything that is available for you. Thank you for choosing to learn with us. Continuously invest in your skills. You will be rewarded as an instructional designer. Share this stuff, share it with other people, because when we are better instructional designers, we create better solutions that create better humans, that create a better world. So we have a very important role and I'm excited to be on this journey with you. Have an awesome day.